Okay, so I'm Ian. I'm the president of marketing on SkyPulse, and I was the chairman's presenter last year for the team.
Hi, I'm Manolee. I'm director of PR.
Hi, I'm Izzy, and I'm Vice President of Marketing.
So this presentation will be going into the three big awards for FIRST. So that's Chairman's, Woody Flowers, and Dean's List. There are many other awards in FIRST and in FRC that you can get through, like for engineering inspiration or entrepreneurship or gracious professionalism, but we'll just be going into the three big ones. This is just an intro. So first up is the Chairman's Award. The Chairman's Award is often cited as the most prestigious award in FIRST, and it's about showing how well your team has spread FIRST values or spread STEM within your community and on your team, and the impact you've made. So in other words, what has your team done to spread STEM and encourage STEM in young people, and how have you worked to do this within your team, within the school, within the community, and it's all just about outreach. So why is this important? Chairman's is a real signifier of a great team, a role model team. So in the picture here, you can see the cheesy poofs. They're a famous team, very well known. They won Chairman's in 2004. We also, so if you win Chairman's as well at a regional, you get invited to Champs. So we always want to be applying for Chairman's. It's also just about sharing what we've done for the community, how we spread STEM, how we spread FIRST to our community. So how do you apply for Chairman's? So eligible teams are all teams that are not first-year teams or in other words, rookie teams, and also teams that haven't won the Chairman's Award in the past 5 years. So, yeah, and only teams that won the regional and district chairmans can apply for the Chairman's Award at FIRST Champs. So some required actions are, so for submitted materials, you need an executive summary and an essay. And at the competition, you'll be giving a chairman's presentation and there will be a chairman's interview from judges. And also, you'll be submitting the chairman's video at competition. So the first submitted material, which is the executive summaries. There are a lot of questions up here. I just copied and pasted that from the FIRST website. But some very notable ones are basically just summarizing what you did in the past 3 years. This is just basic, just you put down all the information here for all these questions. And it's 500 characters per question. This is just the general, rundown of the team. And the second piece is the essay. You'll notice that there isn't a prompt really for this essay. So you use this thought, or use these 10,000 characters for just exposition of what your team did. And you want to expand on stuff that wasn't in the chairman's executive summary, because it's your chance to really just go up, because you only have 500 words for the executive summary, but here you have 10,000. Obviously, you want to expand upon the different outreach events or outreach initiatives that you listed in the executive summary and talk more about in the essay. Okay, so at a competition. There will be a chairman's interview. This interview will be a total of 12 minutes, with 7 minutes of the presentation and then 5 minutes for the judges' interviews. If you don't finish, or if you finish early, the extra time will be used for the interviews by the judges. So for the chairman's interview, or chairman's interview and chairman's presentation, you will be selecting up to 3 members of or 3 students on the team for this, for presenting. And for the questions, the judges typically ask questions about, so the judges will be reading the executive summaries and the essays that you submitted, and they'll be asking questions based on those as well as what you presented in the presentation. So they may ask about anything from sponsors to different specific outreach initiatives that you've had, and it's a great place to clarify any questions that they have and better explain your team. And the chairman's video. The video will be given to the judges at the competition on a flash drive, and will be between 1 and 3 minutes, no more, no less. And this is just a basic summary of what you did, or what kind of outreach you guys were involved in, and how your team has impacted the community and the school. This video can be shown during the presentation, but it's better if you have more time to say stuff during the presentation rather than the video, because the judges will be looking at the video anyway. So this is our video from 2018. We won the Chairman's Award at the New York City Regional during 2018. So. Okay. Yeah, you can't hear the audio. Well, we can't seem to get the video working, so please we highly recommend you check it out to get an idea of what a chairman's video looks like. It's on our YouTube channel at StyPulse, and if you search up 2018 Chairman's Award. So how we approach chairmen. Outreach isn't just a marketing thing or just one thing that one department of the team or one chunk of the team does. Outreach should be something that the whole team does. So chairmans, of course, will involve the whole team. We typically kick off chairman's writing with a chairman's marathon, which is that's not going to stop until it goes all the way up. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah, okay. So we typically kick off chairman's writing with the chairman's marathon, which is just a day where we get everybody people from every single department involved with chairman's, and we just sit down and start writing. Chairman's presenters on our team we pick chairman's presenters on our team through tryouts. So we send out sign up form for whether people want to be a chairman's presenter, and then we'll have a short just read out a bit of text or a bit of stuff, and then we'll deliberate on who we want to select. In preparation for chairman's, so this is going to be a bit of my experience, but last year we practiced over Zoom for chairman's practice, and we just practiced and practiced and practiced. We went through a presentation, and then we went through questioning. So just getting that 12 minutes, like the time sense, and then getting your presentation under 7 minutes is very important. I guess getting the flow thing is very important. So we practiced through the presentation, and then we had the 5 minutes questions from our mentors. So mentors helped us a lot with with the interview portion. So we have questions, and they asked a bunch of questions that we've recorded from past years. So we have a doc where we keep track of all the questions that we've been asked at other at our previous regionals. So I guess a little bit more personal advice. It's important to get the flow of the presentation down, and during the questions from the judges, you can always rely on your other presenters. We always pick 3 presenters, so always rely on your other 2 presenters. And if you don't know a question, you can obviously redirect it, and don't be afraid to add on to something that somebody said in response to a judge. If you think that they missed something, or you have something better, or you have something that can add a little more to what they said.
Okay, so the next award that we'll be covering is the Dean's List Award. So the purpose of this award is to recognize the most outstanding secondary school students in FIRST, which are 10th and 11th grade students who demonstrate leadership and commitment, increase awareness of FIRST in their community, motivate and lead others in their team, display technical expertise and passion, and just in general show long-term commitment to FIRST and to their team. And these are the 2 students that our team SciPulse picked this year. And yeah. So yeah, they're right here. Okay, so the nomination process. So each team can nominate up to 2 10th and 11th grade students. Students who mentor their team and don't actively participate are not eligible, and students who were previously selected as semifinalists or as finalists are still eligible if they still meet all the criteria. And a mentor who's not related to either of them has to complete and submit the application for them. So the submitted materials. So you need 5 essays of no more than 800 characters explaining why the student has been nominated. So you have to include the student's contributions to both FIRST and their team, and really have to include specifics on the student's skills and how they motivate others in their team. And that's why for SciPulse, a student writes the essay, because they can really provide specific examples of how the student is in the team. And a picture of the student is not required, but it is encouraged. So these are the 5 essay prompts that are required in the application, and they just cover if the student aligns with FIRST values, how they behave in the team, and also about their future plans and their skills. And you can read those. Okay. There's also an interview, which is 6 to 10 minutes long, conducted by a minimum of 2 judges, and a mentor isn't allowed. They are allowed at the interview, but they're not allowed to contribute anything, but they can watch a student and give them feedback afterwards. So only the nominated student is allowed to present information or answer questions. However, if the interview is remote, like it was last year, then the mentor is required to attend. And the interview process is different if you attend regional events or district events. At regional events, the judges select 2 students to be finalists, but if you go to district events, you'll be interviewed before the local district championship and then re-interviewed there so that the judges can choose finalists. And then at the FIRST championship, you actually don't even have to be present if you're chosen as a finalist, and there's no interviews there. And the prizes that you can get, which is the part that we look forward to, is the trophy. And then you also get a written recommendation from FIRST leadership to the colleges or employers of your choice. You also get credit towards the registration fee for next season, a plaque for your school, and you get to also visit the FIRST headquarters in New Hampshire. And you also get the opportunity to apply to the Woody Flowers Memorial Grant, which is a grant up to $10,000 that can be renewed every 3 years, and it's for an undergraduate student pursuing a degree in STEAM. And then how SciPulse approaches the Dean's List. So SciPulse only selects 11th graders, and we have our nomination meeting sometime in October or in November, and juniors aren't allowed to attend, and we discuss potential students and their contributions to the team, and then we all vote. And then assume senior volunteers to lead the essay about selected juniors. And these are 2 of our SciPulse students who previously won either the Dean's List Award or the Dean's List Finalist Award. So this is from 2018, I believe, and then the picture on the left is from 2017. Yeah.
Okay, and the next award we have is the Woody Flowers Award. This one is catered mainly to mentors, so it's different from the Dean's and the Chairman's Award. Okay, so it judges mentors based on how they inspire members of the team and how they encourage like student participation, creativity of effort, and also how they explain complex mathematical, scientific, or engineering concepts to students, and overall how they demonstrate their enthusiasm for science and engineering, and encourage students to work on projects as a team effort and inspire them to use problem-solving skills. And how do you nominate a mentor? So basically, students have to nominate a mentor that is on their own team, so they must be registered with the team, and they may only receive the Woody Flowers Finalist Award one time, regardless of the number of teams that the mentor has served. And a mentor is eligible to win the Woody Flowers Award if they have won the Woody Flowers Finalist Award at a regional, both in a past season and the present one. And here we have a Woody Flowers Finalist Award who is right there, Jean. Woo! And she won in 2012. And for the award, it does require some submitted materials, so you do need an essay that has a 3,000 character limit, and in response to the question, how did the candidate inspire your team throughout this process? And a picture of the nominee is also required because we want to see how the nominee looks like, and optional is 3 extra pictures of the nominee. And this is how our team 694 personally approaches Woody Flowers. So we host a nomination meeting, and it's through these nomination meetings that we select mentors to compete for the Woody Flowers Finalist Award. Basically, we all convene together and discuss potential mentors that we would like to nominate, and we highlight like their contributions to the team and the main reasons why they should get the award. EC, elected council, AC, appointed members, and general members are all welcome to come to nomination meetings and contribute. And after we have a running list of like potential nominees that we have in mind, we vote and come to consensus on one nominee for the regional level, and another one who competes for the national Woody Flowers Award. And they must have won a regional award in the past. And yeah, that's it for the awards. And now we'll open up to Q&A. Does anyone have any questions?
Just curious, how many mentors do y'all have that you have this, like there's 3 adults on my team, that's it. So I'm just curious, your selection process is awesome, but what kind of numbers are you dealing with? I'm just curious.
Yeah, we're a very big team, and we have a lot of mentors as well. We have around 10 or so mentors right now. So this nomination process is also a very nice way to just say nice things about mentors as well, recognize mentors' contributions over the years.
I just want to kind of add on to the answer. Like, though we have a lot of mentors, like we probably like regularly active like 10 mentors, and probably a few more on top of that. The Chairman's Award in preparation for it doesn't require in-person anything, right? We did all of our stuff on Zoom last year, and it was awesome. And you can utilize like alumni a lot for that. We had a lot of alumni chip in. So like if your team doesn't have a lot of adults who can help out, you know, any student who's participated in the presenting before could log on to a Zoom and help out, and you could rope them in as mentors through that as well.
Also worth noting is while we have a lot of mentors, we also have a ton of kids.
Any other questions?
Don't read into the question, but when do you think is the ideal time to start for all 3 awards?
So for Dean's List, we have the nomination process in October, November, and I believe that the applications open up in November. and then the deadline for it is early February. So
And for chairmans, obviously the team's always preparing for chairmans. We're always going to outreach events. We're starting new outreach initiatives. But in terms of the essay, starting the essay should start around October to November, around there.
And for Woody Flowers, personally, our team, we nominated people around like late November, like last weekish. We nominated Naveed and Shelly. Woo!
thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, Mr. Black.
I'm actually curious about the answer that you guys have for this, but also I think it's helpful for other teams. You talk about a lot of activities, you talk about a lot of these award submissions, and I know that you guys have a lot of stuff you have to take care of logistically to manage and run the team. How do you prioritize these things? How do you make sure that you're on track? Like, what do you think are like the more important things to get done? Like, how can you keep track and stay on track with all the things that you want to do?
I guess. So I guess just getting started would be the best way to start with the timeline. So we have a general timeline of when we wanted to get stuff done. Every year we always lag behind, unfortunately, but just getting started is usually the hardest part for chairmans. Yeah.
Also just breaking things down into smaller tasks. So every single meeting we try to get at least something done, especially right now because this is when award submissions are opening up. So every meeting we try to get at least something done for each award, and also just talking with other departments in the team, trying to keep everyone informed is really important. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think adding on to that point, just having like a clear agenda. For us, we've been writing our agendas on like the boards, the whiteboard, whenever we have meetings. So just knowing specifically what to get done is really helpful, and especially right now when we don't have grants and Sky Splash, we'll have more time to work on the awards.
How do you balance working on awards and like the actual robot competition? Because a lot of the deadlines for the awards are like in the middle of the build season, right? Do you have like students dedicated to the awards and not working on the robot, or what?
Yeah, we have a marketing department which is dedicated to, during competition season we're dedicated to the awards, but we also hold meetings outside of robotics, regular robotics time, to rope in other people from other departments with the awards process.
This kind of dovetails off his question, which is, a lot of the teams aren't as big as ours. What would you recommend for a team that's smaller and they can't dedicate 5 kids to just marketing, right? They have to build the robot and write the awards for their mentors and write the awards for their students and write the chairman's award. Like, what would you recommend to a team that's in that situation?
I guess it's important to have sort of maybe meetings outside of regular robotics, just to try to get everybody involved, because if everybody's involved, it's obviously it gets things done quicker, but also it's important to have everyone's input. It can be hard to spare time for that, so obviously starting early before the build season is ideal.
I made a forward reference to this talk in my talk without knowing what your talk was about.
Yeah.
So I said people could come here to find out about all the awards, which wasn't true. Where do you recommend people go to read about the other awards?
So for other awards, which is what Jean was talking about with pit interviews, you can find them on the FIRST website. If you search FIRST Inspires Space Awards in like your search engine, it's probably the first thing that comes up. And so these awards include stuff like engineering inspiration or
Entrepreneurship award.
control theory. Yeah, there are a bunch of awards that you can win at the competition. We just talked about the big blue banner awards. So yeah.
And actually, this is not just a question for you guys, but also for some of the students who have competition experience. Like at the competitions, judges come, you just mentioned, they talk to you in pits and they ask you questions. Do you have any advice for talking to judges, or what do you do when a judge comes up to a student who doesn't know the answer to questions? How do you handle those situations? When the judge comes to the pit, what do you do?
This is talked about a bit in Jean's presentation as well, but you can always refer to other people or say, tell someone that, like, this person, like, we have a question about, like, this, like, we think that, or like, if you think someone is better qualified to answer a question than you are, you can always refer to them. So, in chairman's interviews, if somebody was struggling with a question, but you obviously, maybe the way it was worded or something was different, you can always prompt them saying stuff like, I think that so-and-so would be able to talk about and then a certain outreach initiative, for example. And it's just about, I guess, knowing who could answer which question.
Actually, here's Sam, your thoughts, because this is Sam, he's our head of software. I wasn't there, but at our regional in 2020, he spoke to a judge and everyone was like, oh, Sam did such a good job. Sam crushed it with these judges. I'm curious, can you share what happened there, what you did? I put you on the spot, I gave you 0 warning.
Well, I don't know. So I think the success that we had with the judges is just because the technology that we had implemented that year was stuff that the judges had learned in college. And one of the judges was like, oh my god, I learned about this in college and nobody seems to care about it. I'm super impressed that you guys found it. And it was just sort of having members that are enthusiastic about the technology on your robot be available in the pits, even if they're not needed to fix the robot, but available in the pits to sort of explain it to a judge. And you want the people who are probably the most involved and the most enthusiastic to try and convey that enthusiasm to the judges and get them enthusiastic about your robot. I think that's probably what our main success was in that year.
All right, if that's all the questions, then thank you for coming to Sty Splash, and thank you for coming to this presentation.
Thank you.